Alright, so this is Alan Wake. I'm playing it on Steam, and this is a demonstrative review where I play the game while I review it, basically. I've already played through the game, the entire thing myself. I'm just going to be demonstrating the game, how it's played, as I give my review points. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play normal. We're going to jump straight to episode 2. And I'll show you how this works. In fact, I'll even skip to the next part here.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even
you
if
play
I couldn't
as
remember
Alan
it,
Wake.
was enough for him. He smelled money.
He's gone. He just came on vacation to this park in the mountains,
night appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere.
and his wife has gone missing.
The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it.
That's Barry, his agent. Alan is a
good.
writer himself.
Mr. Wake.
He's very famous,
Barry, you
actually, in
found
this
him.
world.
Hi, Rose.
Oh wow, I was just thinking about you too.
Yeah, so
Great.
this was
Just
originally an
reading recipes from
Xbox
coffee. He's on the
360
balcony,
title.
Looking after Max. Poor thing.
The graphics themselves look
really need to go.
great,
Great
but
to
the
see you again, Mr.
animations
Wake. Later.
are definitely feel aged, or haven't aged well. They feel old. Like when
What an
people are talking,
airhead.
they just don't look
Jeez,
right.
Mister takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault.
So,
She's a very nice girl, and
ordinarily here,
more importantly, a fan.
the structure of
Even
the
as a
game is
fan
that every
site
episode kind of
dedicated
starts
to
off
you.
with like
And she was
a daytime
very helpful
section
when I was
where you go
looking for
around and talk to
Seriously,
people
Al,
and stuff.
You were saying in the car, just listen to yourself.
Barrett, so what's happened already is that I have run into these
You
shadowy
shot a guy
characters.
And his body just disappeared. When was the last time you slept? Are you high? Have you been drinking?
Wait here. No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week, and someone's got Alice, and everything's
You
just...
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong. It's a good story.
You'll see the enemies here.
But when
They're
you
shadow
start
creatures,
waiting
not
for
necessarily
reality,
zombies,
you're
but
buying yourself a
boy.
ticket to the party.
similar to zombies.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake, I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually,
So as you can
I'm
see in
sorry
the
about
top
this. Would you mind grabbing the
left,
registration form
there
from
is
the
a
desk?
bit of a
It's just across from
compass.
Tooth Charlie.
It tells you where to go, so find the form. So if you're ever lost, you can at least follow that. But it's not like, it's just like a general direction, so it's good that it doesn't like reveal a map or anything like that. Also, you can check out different little things in the area. Like here's a little description of whatever this Bucktooth Charlie Colombian mammoth thing was. And I can't
I'd come here to
leave
rent
at
a
this
cabin
point.
where I could wait till midnight.
You gotta talk to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No, this whole thing. Listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on.
So I could sit there and listen to him all the way through, and he would, give me some.
This is the form you wanted?
He would talk
And
to a certain
here
point
are
and then
the
stop.
keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too. If you have any trouble finding it, just keep your eyes
There's a
on the radio
little
map.
focus.
It's right
Press in
below
the
that.
left
Oh, and
stick
hey, if you take
to look
a
at
walk in the
stuff.
woods, watch your steps so you don't end up
What I
with
don't
a
like is that you have to hold it. Like if I let go, like if I just press it, it'll do that. You have to hold it. So there will sometimes be long segments where the camera will pan around an area or will focus on someone while they're talking,
Thanks.
which means that you have to hold the button in order to keep it focused there, which is a little annoying. But that's a nitpick thing. Let's go ahead.
Freak me out? It's working.
So Barry doesn't believe the shadow creatures exist that I fought earlier, which you will see coming up here.
Look.
So yeah, there are cutscenes that go across. I'm going to go ahead and skip this one. So basically,
Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist.
Whoops.
Or it'll be deliverance all over again.
so yeah, the game does have references to like real world things like Deliverance, like the movie, or
Here, Al.
Alan Wake also talks about how like Stephen King was like an inspiration for him. Oh yeah, so I just picked up a manuscript page. So I don't know. Oh, I just picked up this one. It'll highlight it for me.
Barry had never gotten along
You can
with
click on it,
Alice,
and
but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity.
Alan will just read it
Now
for you.
something had happened to Alice.
Alice is his
Here was
wife,
Al armed with a
Alan's
gun
wife.
and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry.
And so, oh yeah, I also, there's a good example right there. This game does have some PG-13-ish language. I mean, it is a teen-rated game, but it has the language for one of the reasons as to why it has that rating.
To the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was
So this is what
still
most of
hanging
the
with
game
Barry for trying to
looks
talk
like when
me
you're
out
playing.
of it.
You got a
These
gun
people had called me right to
and
the sheriff's
flashlights.
station.
Oh, there's
The
crows
cops
up
wouldn't
there.
scare them, and they had Alice.
So you've got the right stick will control the camera and, well, actually more accurately, your flashlight. I mean, you can, it's really the camera movement, but fine movements will just, you know, they're just moving the flashlight and that moves around the camera. The left stick, of course, moves around like this. You will not turn around just moving like this. You will have to use the right stick to turn around. Unless, of course, you have L1 or the left bumper is run. So you hold that and you'll run. And you will, your character will turn around in that situation, but the camera, again, will not move. And as you can see, he sort of does a little, well, he does a little bit of, in certain situations, he will sort of duck when he starts to run. And you do have a limited run. As you can see, he's a little tired right now. And if you could hear well enough the game audio, you'd hear he's like doing some heavy breathing before he runs out. So if you keep running forever, you do have a limited amount of run, although your stamina is not shown in the game anywhere, per se. So as you can see, I'm still running, and I'm slowing down. Whoa, what was that? Oh, nothing. So yeah, my run, I'm still holding the run button, but he's running about as fast as his walk. And now I've let go. And he'll start to restore his stamina, and his walk is more upright now. And then you do have your gun, which is activated with the right trigger. So you can fire like that. You can press X to reload. This is on an Xbox controller. And then you can interact with stuff, usually with the B button. It's like, here's like a radio.
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just
Open up
parked
this.
at the rear end of the
There's some
studio.
stuff in here. Pick up some extra ammo for your revolver. So this is sort of a survival element to this game in that, oh, look at that. Someone outside the window. You do have like limited ammo in certain stretches of the game. So if you do run out, the enemy, you will likely die because the enemies will just get you from there. You cannot outrun enemies, although you can dodge and avoid the attacks by running. In fact, that little, when you start your run, sometimes there will be like that little duck. It's like a, there we go. There's like a dodge that happens. I think it only happens like when you're like actually like running from an enemy. So that guy that was out here, I think he was just a scripted walker by. Because I don't think he's actually here. But we will see someone like that momentarily. And there are various statistics around. Oh, screen shake. Something's happening. Nothing? Okay. There are various statistics, so like the radio is just one of the things that you can interact with that the game tracks. So radio shows found, I have 11 out of 11. TV shows found, there's 14 out of 14. There are little TVs that'll play a show that you can actually just sit there and watch for like 5 minutes, however long it is. Pyramid can pyramids knocked over. There'll be like stacks of like soda cans or beer cans, whatever. And you can like shoot them to knock them over. And then coffee thermoses found. There are a bunch of those, 100 total in the game. I've only found 95 of them. it is something I think would be fun to go and try to find them all, but in order to get this review out in a timely manner, I'm going to have to wait until, like, maybe I play this game again sometime later to go after all of them, but definitely a little fun thing to do, sort of like a little mini collectathon achievements in here. So as you can see, this place doesn't look too good. Broken into here. I got to kick down the door. Oh yeah, here's the TV. Cool, good example. So you can sit here and there's this TV show called something Springs, Midnight Springs. No, is it? Can't believe I forgot. It's kind of like a Twilight Zone spin-off thing, or just Night Springs. That's what it's called. So you can totally just sit here and watch like this 5-minute episode. Or actually, I think it's probably not even that long. It's maybe like a couple minutes. But yeah, they have like real actors and stuff in it. But it's really weird camera work where like you don't really. There's like a voiceover on top of this recording that doesn't look like it matches all the time exactly. I'm sure it's done to make it look just alien, you know? Let's see if I find like a bad guy out here. I'll probably run into someone here soon. Crows do attack you sometimes, so be on the lookout for that. Oh yeah, I haven't even gone over all your commands yet. The left trigger focuses your flashlight. And when we get to an enemy, you'll see how that affects. And you do have a flashlight bar in the top left as it's recharging right now. It will go down as you focus your flashlight, but as you let go, it will slowly recharge over time. If it gets down to 0, you do have, what I have there are 7 batteries. So if I could just let it recharge again, but if I want to add the charge faster, I just use a battery and it refills all the way. But again, you do have limited batteries, so you have to carefully consider that. I actually found during my playthrough, I did not use batteries because I was super conservative in my use of them, and I would constantly be maxed out because you can only carry 20 batteries at a time. And this game does have enough supplies for you to use them considerably, just not too much. So yeah, here's another manuscript page. I've already got them all. The little symbol on the end of this one means it's only found in Nightmare difficulty. Nightmare difficulty is unlocked after you beat the game on normal or easy, I think. You just have to beat the game and unlock Nightmare difficulty. So in order to see all the manuscript pages, you have to beat the game twice, or play through it twice, I should say. We'll get here. So yeah, this is like a spooky sort of game. As you can see, here's another manuscript page. Let's go ahead and pick it up. And the game teaches you, like, being in the light, of course, is your safe zone. There's a little flashback to scary images. Whoa. Something's happening up there.
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming! Please, help me!
Rusty is that guy I talked to earlier. Got the key from. Getting there as fast as I can.
Can you hear me? Anyone? Please help! Back here.
So, what happens? I didn't even mention. So those manuscript pages, they're everywhere throughout the game.
Just the way it was on that page.
He just found one.
Came true.
So, when you find these pages,
It'll come back for me.
sometimes it'll be something that already happened in the game, and sometimes it'll be something that's about to happen in the
Okay,
game.
Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back.
So, I think he's dead already.
Whoever did this couldn't be far.
Oh, no,
Rusty
he's still
had
moving.
found a page from the manuscript.
Okay.
It would help me understand what had happened.
So, this game is not, even though there is like blood here and stuff, this game is not super bloody. Like the monsters you fight, they don't bleed or anything like that. So, no worries on that front.
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on.
So I gotta use that key to unlock this door. So yeah, the manuscript pages, they'll sometimes describe something that's about to happen in the game and something that's just happened in the game. So that's sort of like part of the mystery about where these pages are coming from. Get some more ammo in here. And batteries.
I was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on.
That's not good. Oh snap. Something's going on down there.
Rusty! The ground was covered with oily patches that looked like liquid darkness.
Oh yeah. So these are like pieces of darkness. If you like walk on top of them, they'll hurt you. So you don't want to... You can get rid of them with your flashlight though, if you want to take the time to do that. You don't have to. But if there were enemies around here, I wouldn't want them to be on the floor, because then when I'm trying to avoid enemies, I might run over them. I think we'll get into combat right here. Yeah, so these guys, you can't hurt them like this. You have to use your flashlight on them first. You see the little circle around them? As soon as that gets reduced by using your flashlight on them, then they are vulnerable to gunshots. And you gotta reload. If you reload like that, it's at 1 speed. But, as I demonstrate here, if you mash the X button, you'll reload faster. Just a little bit faster. Not too much faster. But enough to where it matters that you should probably do it.
Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
Oh snap.
Please don't feed the animals.
So yeah, these shadow creatures, they're called Taken. And the things they say are kind of weird. Sometimes they're kind of funny, which is weird. But I think they're just supposed to be like off-putting. This is a particularly different kind of monster that just moves around really fast. You'll only run into them like a few times throughout the game, which is good because they're kind of annoying to deal with. But yeah, here I want to use a flashlight. Whoa! Oh yeah, something I want to demonstrate with the dodge system as soon as I deal with this guy. Ah. So yeah, you don't want to waste your flights on this guy. Wait for him to like... There we go. So something about the dodge is that if you press it just as they're going to attack you... Oops, I missed. That you'll have like this... The game will slow down like that. That means you dodge like at the right time, and it's like a cinematic dodge, whatever. That'll help you get away. So here's some more enemies. So yeah, there are these guys, they throw little axes or whatever, but if you focus your flashlight on them at the right time, they'll stop. So when it comes to managing your flashlight batteries and ammo and stuff, you'll want to just consider that. Like, you can just stop them from throwing... Oops, something's going on. You can just stop them from throwing their axes, or if they're running at you and you just focus your flashlight on them like real quick, like you don't have to focus for a long time, but just like flash them with it, then they'll stop that. And then these flights here, when you see a big light like this, it usually means it's going to be a checkpoint. There you go. You can see at the top left there, checkpoint reached. That means the game has done a little save for me. So if I want to restart from like a checkpoint, it'll just send me right back here. I'm gonna get a call from Barry. Yeah. So this is sort of a scripted thing where I can still move wherever I want, but I can't run or anything because they're doing this little dialogue bit.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy. I wish you were crazy, but you're not crazy. Ow, be careful.
Stay in the cabin. Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it.
Alright. Here's another manuscript page. So yeah, I like the environments around here because they really feel like real areas. So you can see these are like, I'm going to go down there in a little bit, but I can't go over there, but it looks, they're really real areas. So what actually is like the edges of a map for most of the areas is either a sheer cliff like this, or a wall just straight up. So like over there, I'm sure there's like a wall that goes straight up. So areas can still feel like very big, even though there's really only a limited space you can traverse through. So like over here, there's like just this big wall here. I mean, I was just up there, but even later sections where I'm going in what seems like a straight line, if I look to either side, one side will probably be like a big wall like that, or a cliff like that, like a drop like that. And there is fall damage in this, so I can technically hurt myself just by jumping from too big of a height. Oh yeah, you do have a jump button, which is A, of course. So if I were to, you can climb stuff, but if I were to like jump from like a height, you can see I took some damage there. And your damage, you can see it's the red bar in the top left around the compass circle. It will refill slowly over time. As you can see, it's doing so right now. The deal with that is if you just take all that damage, then you're dead.
Lover's Peak was at the far
And it'll take
end
you
of the
back
nature
to
trail.
your last checkpoint. So, clearly, it's telling me I need to go that way to go to where I want, which is Lover's Peak. But there are secret areas. So, little side areas like this. I can go over here. And you'll actually see these yellow painted markings. It's like a paint that only appears in light, in like a flashlight. So you won't see it unless you put your light over it. But you can trust these arrows. These mean like side areas and like secrets. So I'm going to go through here. Even if you see like a yellow splotch like that, that means that's also a sign that there's something over there. So keep your eyes out for those things. But if you look through here, you'll find that symbol shows you that there is a treasure chest here. Just a box of stuff to pick up. So inside there was batteries, and I got the gun next to it. So I got the shotgun. Use the D-pad to bring up this little menu here. You'll get a few different things you can use. The top three here are guns. The bottom one will be like a secondary item, like flares or something. But other than that, that's all that's in here. Also, the game also tracks the science that you read. So you want to check all those that you can if you want to get all the achievements for that stuff. And all the doors are double hinged, so you can just sort of walk through them in either direction and they'll open for you, which is convenient. Not necessarily realistic, but convenient. And as we go in here, we'll find some more guys to fight. So I guess I'll go ahead and use my shotgun ammo first. Ooh, more batteries. Oh. So here I am surrounded. So you do not want to be surrounded, because enemies can just take you out very easily if they're surrounded, or you're surrounded. So what I like to do is I usually like to back off to try to get myself not surrounded, have them all be in front of me, especially since that's where my flashlight's going to point at. And in fact, this particular section of the game is, when I first went through this part, I ran out of ammo at a certain point and just couldn't get past it. And I find it's actually a common spot where players run out of ammo their first time through, because I went through Steam to try to figure out, hey, what do I do on this part? And yeah, there's a secret over there if you want to go check it out, but I'm going to go ahead and go forward to fight more guys. So I went on Steam and found out that a bunch of people have questions like, hey, how do I get through this part, because I keep running out of ammo? And it's funny because I went through this on normal my first time and I ran out of ammo like all those other people. But then I went through again on Nightmare difficulty. And Nightmare difficulty, basically enemies do more damage to you and take more hits. So you have to use more ammo then in order to take them out. Funny thing though, I never ran out of ammo when I played on Nightmare mode through here because, I don't know, I was just more experienced from playing through the game once already that I knew how to take care of ammo better. I knew how to not miss my shots on enemies. So, yeah, it's definitely... I think the game is balanced really well for how they do stuff. So you see, that guy was gonna attack me. I'm gonna dodge. Gonna wear him down with my flashlight. Oops, that was a miss. It's a bad example. Whoops. See, this is why you want them to be in front of you. Use my flashlight here. Get rid of that guy. Oop, dodge there. Oh, didn't dodge there. So when the screen goes black and white like that, that tells you that you are very low on health. So yeah, that was not my best play. In fact, I'm gonna switch back to my revolver, just so I don't have to reload so often. Even though the shotgun does do more damage. There's another sign. So yeah, like I was saying, you could wander off. Clearly, I'm supposed to go that way. But you could just wander off here, even though it looks like it's really open. There's like a cliffside right here you can't climb. And in fact, some guys might spawn in over here because I'm going off the way. So yeah, even though it looks like it's super open, it's actually not as open as it appears. Oh, there's some more guys. Also, you may have noticed when enemies pop in, the game usually will slow down and let you know that they are there. However, the reason it does that is that it means that they're spawning in right next to you. If they spawn in somewhere, so the enemies do have like set spawn in points. So if I had followed the trail where I was supposed to, then the game would have spawned them in right there, and the game would have slowed down to show me that they were here. But because I was off the trail, they still spawned in, but they were farther away, so it didn't bother to show me, which let them sneak up on me like that without warning. So it does. See, look at this. So it does help to stick to the trail if you want to have as few surprises as possible. Ow. I feel like I'm being surrounded. Is there another guy out here? Also, it helps to learn like how many hits each type of enemy takes. Like these guys take 3, I believe it was. So that way you can fire 3 shots off at a quick pace and then be ready to take on the next guy. You don't have to sit there and go one at a time because you want to, you know, save your ammo. So you don't want to spend it unwisely. So look at this. That is the checkpoint I really couldn't get to before without running out of ammo, and I have plenty of ammo here right now. Oh yeah, so there are these sometimes things where you like have to push the button within the section. So that got the generator going. Lots of stuff like that. Here's another. These little red boxes have emergency supplies in them all over the place. So I like the setting because it fits the level design. Most of the areas are like this in the forest, in the woods. There will be a couple sections where you go through like caves and you go back through like the city area that we were in earlier, the town. Village, I guess, not really a city. And of course you want to go off the trail sometimes because there was like a coffee thermos right here that I collected. So what's nice is that you can do like the episode selection from the main menu and it'll keep track of all the things you find. So like the coffee thermoses found, the 95 out of 100, those don't return after you collect them, which is nice because then that'll help you find the stuff that you're missing if you want to go for everything. But what's not fine is that there's really only one save file here. So if I want to start from scratch and want to collect everything, I'd have to delete my file somehow. Which, I mean, this is a Steam Cloud Saves. I'm not exactly sure how it would do that necessarily. I'm sure it's probably not too hard. Even selecting like new game from the main menu, it's basically like chapter selection, just starting off at the beginning. Ooh, that's totally a scripted guy, I don't think. Yeah. So it'll also probably be like the last part I do. So these guys have lots of stuff. Whoop, dodge. Whoop. Oh, see? And you also don't want to get your back against a wall, because that'll be bad for you. Whoop, dodge. And like I said, you can't outrun guys. Well, even though I kind of used up. So yeah, the difference in the difficulties is how many shots these guys take and how much damage they do. It doesn't like increase or decrease the number of enemies per se. And you can reload while you're shining your flashlight. You can't do it while you focus, but you can still like shine your flashlight on someone to get like the passive drop on their shadow defense, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I really like the level design because they are like real areas, like this picnic table over here and this drop-off point. So yeah, I really like the level design here because I'm saying that because I want to discuss some parts that's not good. So yeah, over here, like I said, either a drop-off or a rock wall that you can't climb. That's what borders all the areas, so you can stay on the trail and feel like it's a big area, even though technically it may not be as big as it looks, but I like the way they pull it off. Alright, so there are sections of the game where you don't have a gun, you just have a flashlight. There's one section where you don't have either, or a couple sections actually where you don't have either, so the game does change up a bit. I do like the pacing of the game. The thing I don't like is the DLC levels. These two special ones take place after the main game, and they do continue the story technically. There's that. They do come standard with the Steam version. You probably had to pay extra for them on the 360 version. Didn't really play it on the Xbox, so I don't know for sure, but I think that's how it went. So yeah, continue game just has that one save file. The DLC levels, there's a story reason for why they are structured the way they are, but I don't think it's very fun that the level structures are more or they're less realistic on purpose. So if there are a bunch of areas where it's just like floating pieces of land in space and like mobs of enemies just attack you, and I don't really like that. But they're short, just 2 extra chapters to do, so it's really not a big deal, but I do think the game is best in its main episodes. And then you've already seen statistics. Playback lets you look at the cinematics throughout the game. The radio parts. Looks like there's 2... Oh, there's a bunch in episode 3. It's like the radios that you find. You can't watch the TV shows, oddly enough. Then like there's the manuscript pages, which you can find. Yeah, there's no manuscript pages in the DLC episodes, just like in the main episodes. And of course you can listen to the soundtrack, which is all pretty cool. So yeah, that is Alan Wake. I definitely think it's a fun game. Good to play for Halloween time. Thanks. If you think this review was helpful, please give the video a thumbs up, share it with someone. There will be more coming up next week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.